I feel that the request of the officials is a reasonable request. I request your approval. You? Even you?
Your Majesty, Your Majesty.
Lost! What are you all trying to do? Are you uniting to force me? Ah! She has been long dead. All because of a letter that may not even be true. And because of her! Along with her delusional petition. You want me to reopen a case that has been more than 10 years already?
Oh, Your Majesty, please. Your Majesty, this old case doesn't just concern how Shiyu should be charged. It's to merely ensure the people's trust in the Imperial Court's judgment. If we simply let this go, rumors will surely run wild. And your name, as well as the country's stability, will surely be at risk. Therefore, I beg once again for your Majesty to accept and allow the retrial of the old HaiYan case.
Your Majesty, I second the motion. I find it unjust. Whoever will hear about this case won't simply ignore it. Since the case was wrongly tried, it must be reopened. This is a simple principle, Your Majesty.
How dare you! Muching, do you wish to rebel against me too? Huh?
I second the motion as well. Your Majesty, what the Grand Royal Princess has said was very logical and factually clear. Both law and reason call for a retrial of the case. That is why I don't understand what Your Majesty is so uncertain of. We second the motion! Marquis Yan is right!
We also second the motion! Your Majesty, please grant our plea! All of you are clansmen, all from the royal clan! All of you! Who asked you all to treat me this way? Who asked you all to treat me this way?
Your Majesty.
HaiYan. I second the motion. I ask Your Majesty to grant the retrial of the case. You... It's you. It was you. I should have known all along. It was you all along. According to Leon's charges, the main instigators are none other than Shiyu and Shajang. But since both are already executed, then why do you still ask for a retrial?
This case concerns the truth and the innocent, not just the two men who committed their crimes.
Then who else do you wish to be blamed for this?
This case concerns the lack of justice. Those who are guilty and fail their duties must be prosecuted.
Those who are guilty and fail to do their duties? Who are you referring to? Crown Prince, are you saying you wish to force me to renounce my throne?
My brother Prince Chi once taught me. Everyone knew. His sole wish was to make Liang and the people in it to live in peace. What he did not do in the past, I too shall refuse to do.
Even if you won't. What about him? Him! Without any of Meichangsu's assistance, I think I wouldn't be witnessing the things I'm seeing before me. Tell me that at this very moment, can you really still hold back and not say a single thing?
The 26th year of Jingyan, Your Majesty was still a prince. You were framed. You were to be executed. Then Qian Marshal Linshi, who was your old classmate and comrade, risked his life to prove to the late emperor, thus saving your life, Your Majesty. The 29th year of Jingyan was the Battle of the Five Princes. General Lin was just a capital patrol's commander. He personally led 300 men, charged the Imperial Guard's camp, to help secure the throne for Your Majesty.
Silence! Keep your mouth shut!
Taichuan's 10th year, Xijin was lost and Jinling was besieged. It was Marshal Lin again, who rushed from the borders, 1,000 miles away, to rescue you from the enemy. As both your friend and official, General Lin never once betrayed your trust. The Crown Prince's request from you today is merely to reveal the truth from back then. But why is Your Majesty all of a sudden so reluctant to grant such a reasonable request?
You? Who are you? You are not Meichangsu! You're that resurrected traitor that came back to life, aren't you? Guards, kill him! He must be killed! Resurrected traitor! Treacherous! Treacherous wretch! Move aside! Resurrected traitor! You resurrected traitor! Resurrected traitor! Resurrected! Your Majesty!
Your Majesty! Your Majesty!
Your Majesty!
Your Majesty!
You traitor! You traitor! Step aside. Step aside! Don't you dare think that I won't kill you, Jingyan. Once I do, I can easily get another crown prince.
You can kill me. You You may kill anyone who wants this case investigated, because you're the Emperor. But once you do decide to kill everyone, will you still be a respected Emperor? I may have always looked up to my eldest brother. However, I refuse to end up like him. Treacherous wretch. You treacherous wretch.
Brother.
You treacherous wretch! Treacherous wretch! Treacherous wretch! You treacherous wretch! Treacherous wretch!
Is now leaving.
You treacherous wretch! Treacherous wretch! You treacherous wretch! Treacherous wretch! You treacherous wretch! Treacherous wretch! So be it. After the ceremony, we'll continue our battle.
Take care, Your Majesty.
Continue our battle. How am I going to continue? Before I knew it, the Crown Prince I asked to rule the country has long slipped out of my control. The Imperial Army, the capital patrols, Now I'll take orders from the Eastern Palace. The ministers, as well as the Xingtai army, are all of his men! In spite of the fact that I am the Emperor, he was still capable of putting me in such a despicable case. How dare he! You have the nerve to show yourself?
Your Majesty, the Crown Prince was merely asking for a retrial of an old case, not to rebel against you. Why are you trying to prepare for a battle?
Like mother, like son. You've both hidden your true motives all along. To gradually plot a retrial of the Qian case. I must have been truly blind to find myself trusting such an inferior and treacherous creature like yourself.
You can call it plotting against you if you must. But Your Majesty must already realize on your own that aside from your accusations about everyone who you think is against you, there is another important reason as to why the decade-old Qian case must be further investigated.
What reason?
The truth. The truth that had always existed. You are the Son of Heaven. If you choose to remain ignorant about the events from the past, then nobody here can persuade you. Yet even the most important emperor still has his limits to what he can do. For instance, you can't simply change the minds and the conscience of the people. You can't change the morals of your future sons, just the same as you can't stop having dreams about the people you used to love back then. Tell me, Your Majesty, haven't you been dreaming about Consort Chen lately? Or perhaps Princess Jinyang? Or of Prince Qi?
Silence! Tell me, why did you come here? It's all Shazhang's fault. It's because of Shazhang and Shiyu!
I strongly believe that even for someone who's as vicious as Shazhang, would have one or two people in his life that would still be able to give him nightmares.
But Shazhang was right about one thing, wasn't he? That he's back. Huh? All of this only happened because of him, right? Tell me, isn't that right? Isn't it?
What difference does it make if he is or not? Shazhang's treachery is a fact. So is the Qian case's injustice. As long as Your Majesty can tell the difference, what's right and wrong already presents itself. Why are you still suspicious about the others? Your Majesty, can't you appreciate the kinship between father and son, husband and wife, bond between comrades, a ruler and an official? These valuable relationships were cast aside, all because of your baseless suspicions with everyone!
Shut up! I refuse to listen to you. Gaotan! Gaotan! Gaotan!
Yes! Your Majesty,
What is the status outside?
the Crown Prince still awaits your orders.
And the court officials?
Your Majesty,
Nobody left.
Your Majesty, do you wish to summon the Crown Prince?
No. Not the Crown Prince. I want Sucha. It's him who I wish to summon. And I want to speak to him privately.
As you wish.
You don't have to go inside, if you don't want to.
There was once a time when he was just still a doting uncle. But now there's only hatred and bitterness between him and I.
Xiaoshu,
He won't be able to prevent resolving the Qian case. Don't you worry. He and I will just talk. It is I, Sucha, summoned by your Majesty.
I can still remember that very day I first summoned you here. I asked you why you came here, to the capital. And you said that both Jing Xuan and Jing Wan wanted you as their personal advisor. And that is why you came. Is that right?
Yes, that was the truth.
But that wasn't the entire truth.
At that time, your Majesty had control of everything. How was I supposed to reveal everything to you?
What about now? Now that I've grown old and frail in my throne, barely able to command a single soldier, now you no longer have any hesitance to reveal to me the entire truth. Huh?
Your Majesty's still the Emperor. But the people merely expects for you to be fair and just.
What you're trying to say is only if I approve the retrial will I be considered to be fair and just? It is now the Crown Prince who is in control of the entire court. I am no longer able to do anything to him. Why didn't you just wait until I died before reopening this case?
Because it won't be the same.
How was it any different?
On behalf of Prince Xi, it's different.
He's been inside for too long. What if...
don't worry. His Majesty can't harm him.
So tell me then, why didn't you do anything when we were all still at Mount Jiwan?
It's a surprise that you're asking me this. Consort Chen, Prince Chi, and Royal Princess Jinyang. All of those who died, which one of them wasn't related to your majesty? Aren't all of them a part of your family? But when someone pleaded for their innocence, what is it that goes through your mind?
I don't believe it! Do you really just want a retrial? Especially you? I don't believe you.
How many hours has it been since Royal Princess Liang declared to all of Chiyo's major crimes? Did your majesty even read Chiyo's confession? Does the truth about what happened years ago mean absolutely nothing to you? How your own son, your own flesh and blood, had to be driven step by step to his own execution? Are you really that ruthless to let that go?
How dare you! That's enough.
I've read the confession. How Marshallin was killed, and how Prince Chi died unjustly. Each item, each case was clearly written in great detail. Would your majesty like to take a look?
Why don't?
Perhaps I'll read it to you instead.
No, don't! Don't read it! I don't want to hear it. Don't read it!
You don't want to hear it? Or are you afraid to hear it? Before Prince Chi's death, Prince Chi insisted for the order of his death to be read aloud thrice. After the edict, he said only one thing. The father doesn't know the son. The son doesn't know the father. That's when he drank the poisoned wine willingly. Your Majesty, did you know what he meant? If you really knew Prince Chi, you wouldn't have suspected him of planning a rebellion. And if Prince Chi knew you, he would never refuse to believe that you would kill him. May I ask you, now that you're aware of both of their innocence, do you even feel the slightest bit of regret?
But Lin Xie controlled his own army. Everyone knew that! And he only trusted Prince Chi's men, those with important positions. When there were battles, he would always say, when in battle a general may defy the imperial orders. How can I allow that? As for Prince Chi, when in court, he gained the minister's support by speaking arrogantly in his residence. Even in the minister's own reports. In their reports, the ministers dictated it was Prince Chi's intention. So, how could I tolerate that? He was both my subject and son, but he still defied me. And he kept going on about his views on the country this, the country that. Tell me, this entire country, who does it belong to? Is it mine or is this Xiaojingyu's country?
This country belongs to the people who live in it. Without the people in it, what is the use of the Emperor for? Soldiers battled at the front lines, while you were in the capital. Simply out of suspicion, you ordered a massacre. I suppose in your mind, what matters most is to have power. But have you ever considered the country?
A retrial. A new verdict. And after that, I shall announce the entire truth to the people. I'll allow it all. But in one condition. No matter what happens, Jingyan is still my son. But you? You are different. Since after all, so much Qian blood has been shed, I cannot allow Lin Shu, allow you to be alive and standing in the court. To still allow you to stand before me, still standing in front of everyone! Do you understand that? Huh?
I do. I promise.
And Jingyan? I'm certain he won't agree to it. How do you plan to convince him?
Your Majesty refuses to let Lin Shu stay in the court. Otherwise, people will always criticize Your Majesty's mistake. I have long realized that. And this is not what Lin Shu wants. As for convincing Jingyan, I will take care of it. From this day forth, we shall never meet again.
Wait! Please believe me. I was only deceived by those people. Ah! Lin Xie supported me for 10 years. And your own mother, Jinyang, was my very own younger sister. I held you, took you riding with me. I played with you and flew kites with you. Do you still remember that?
His Majesty's decree that the Qian case that was brought forth by the Grand Princess Liang, along with Shiyu's handwritten letter as evidence, the Crown Prince is in charge of the retrial of the case. Grand Prince Ji, Marquis Yan, as well as Ye Shi-chun shall be the ones to preside over the trial. The evidence shall be re-examined, and witnesses must be interrogated in order for justice to prevail in this case. And that is all.
I accept the decree.
And we also accept the decree.
I ask all to rise. The rebel Shajang is now detained in prison. You may bring him to trial. Please bear in mind that I only want facts, only the truth. There shall be no dishonesty and no distortion of events. I know. I can trust the three of you to achieve this.
Yes, Your Highness.
This case took a month, and it's finally resolved. If I may ask you, Minister Ye, to report this to His Highness.
Since the HaiYan case was reopened, I have not been able to get some proper rest. Who would have known that a marshal's household, an honorable prince, and tens of thousands of soldiers would all be buried so easily? All because of such despicable people.
If it were not for the Crown Prince's preserved indignation that he kept with him a long time, then the revelation of this old case, I'm afraid, wouldn't see the light of day.
That's right. The Crown Prince's concern for this case was known, but he has never attempted to meddle with the trial. But by this, you can tell he believed the innocence of his own brother, as well as the Lin family's innocence.
What seems to be on your mind?
I was only thinking if this Su Che is... Never mind. It's nothing. The Crown Prince is arriving!
Is there something you'd like to say?
I was honestly concerned for you. When you presented a case, I was worried that once you've reached your goal, you would suddenly fall over, and you'd be beyond help.
For 13 years, every step I took felt like relieving the tension bit by bit. After getting this far, I wanted to personally witness the outcome and fulfill my wish. And since the results of all this have happened, what difference will it make if I'm relieved or not?
Don't pull this act on me. You don't think I know you well enough?
What do you know about me?
I'm aware that you only held on not because you were calm. The truth is it's because you've never truly felt relieved. Isn't that right? I sense you're afraid. You're afraid that once everyone is finally happy, your body will suddenly collapse. Then a happy event will turn into complete sorrow for everyone. So you think to yourself that no matter what you have to hold on for a few more months, or a few more days, the best time to die is as soon as the case is closed.
It's not because I don't trust your skills.
If that is the case, then believe in me. Don't give yourself a due date. Don't think about how much longer you have left to live, whether it's 5 or 10 months. Just always do your best. And so will I. All right?
I will.